getting to know them personally with interviews on Rock Made of Metal.
Hey, this is Nick.
And this is Lee, and we're with
Pop Evil.
And right now you're in Glasgow, if I'm right in saying. This is first time not only in Glasgow, but Europe as well too, right in saying, yeah?
Yeah, no, it is. It's our first time and last day of the tour. So we are all beat up and world traveled, so to speak here. But it's been an incredible tour, man, and it's our first time in Glasgow. I wish it was a little warmer, but it's been incredible, beautiful.
You gotta love it in spring. This is what you can expect. How about yourself, man? I mean, what's it like? End of the tour, you know, that kind of the fact it's all over, experienced all that Europe has got to.
Yeah, I think it's just been a long time coming. You know, we've been trying to get over here so long, and just to finally actually get this tour under our belt and get to experience, you know, different European crowds and different cultures, and yeah, we can't wait to be back.
And what's great about it as well too is that obviously you're supporting Five Finger Death Punch, so it's not exactly like you've come over here and supported for like small venues or anything. They've been quite a lot. How is it to kind of experience Europe in just that, what I would consider a big punch of a crowd, you know, it's because there's so many of them?
No, it's been great. I mean, we've done real well with Five Finger in the U.S., and to come over with him as label mates here in Europe, they've been like big bros, kind of telling us what to do, what not to do, things to look forward to, how to make that transition from touring in America to touring here in Europe. I mean, it's been, like you said, the biggest of tours. I mean, the biggest of venues we could play, and at this size, probably about 3,000 cap or 2,500 cap rooms. It's just been sold out the whole tour. It's been great to kind of be exposed with the Five Finger fan base, and let the maximum amount of people get to see us.
Absolutely. I mean, do you feel as though if we're going to go down that kind of road of like advice from Five Finger and stuff like that, I mean, do you think that you've needed that kind of advice, or have you kind of been okay going on stage and just kind of giving them what for?
Yeah, I think it's come pretty naturally, I think, as far as the actual shows have. I think it's just the day-to-day things that, just getting around, just the different travel and what to eat, where to eat, and, that kind of stuff, that it definitely comes in handy having people that have done this before trying to help you out there.
If you're going to talk about like kind of what to eat and stuff like that as well, I mean, what's the American food been like to European food and stuff like that?
Well, the catering has been similar. It's been amazing food, but when you're a new band trying to break market, it's not like we have tons of dollars we can just throw around and get the nicest meals every day, and we don't always have the time. So it's trying to eat. A lot of the guys eat healthy on the road when we're home because we can go to the grocery stores that we know, and the grocery names to the mom and pop grocery stores here in Europe we're just still getting used to. So to get the little things, like Nick said, the small things, but the small things to a bunch of guys living on a bus every day is important to us, but to what we're doing on stage has come real naturally, but for sure.
Absolutely. Well, even so, it's good that it's kind of come naturally as well, but obviously I'm really kind of curious because, again, such big venues, I would normally go down, how's an American audience, but again, such big venues. It's just the fact, like, so how is, like, in your opinion then, kind of like, what's the difference between like an American audience to like a European audience then, based on what you've experienced on this tour?
I think they're similar. I mean, different cities vary. I mean, there's certainly different cities that are more open to new rock from the beginning. Like, for example, for us being a new band, a lot of people don't know who we are yet because the album doesn't come out until May. So, but some of them don't even care. I mean, if you're a great live band, which we've made our living off, giving it to our fans live, that's kind of carried us. Where the people in Europe are more open to, just have a good time from the beginning. They're all getting there early. Sometimes in the U.S., people aren't getting there till the main support band. They want to watch their band and, aren't as forgiving. But, we found that in some cities too. Sometimes I think for the most part, they're very similar. They're, if you're good and they start, they like you, they're going to talk about you and spread the word. And that's what I think, the similarities are, very, very much the same.
You feel as though it's happened then with fans who've seen you and stuff like that, kind of the reactions that you've been getting from them?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. We try to go out and, meet as many people as we can after we play, and, between our set and, Upon a Burning Body as well, and then even after the show. And, just the amount of people that have come up to us and said, this is my first time hearing you, and you made a new fan. It's like, that's exactly what we're trying to do here. Like, we just want to, try to spread the music and, try to reach that new audience. And I think it's been great for us.
And, you know, as I said before this interview, you guys' music is awesome, so hey. But this is another thing I want to talk about. Like, you mentioned it there as well too, a wee bit. You know, the new album which is coming out May 14th,
May 14th or 19th? May.
Yeah, May, a little bit May. The album's Onyx as well too, just for people that haven't heard it. If I'm right in saying it's been released in America, if I'm right in saying that right, yeah?
Yes, I mean, we've had 3 albums in the U.S., and now we're finally, you know, we've had to play catch up. We're on a big independent label back home, so, you know, we've had to kind of do things at a little slower pace to make sure that we can, you know, compensate for the hard work and all the time we put in. So finally now, we've been able to get with the success of Onyx back home, we've been able to line up the right people that believe in the band and believe that, you know, Europe is the next chapter for us, and, you know, we're stoked about it.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, kind of personal opinion here as well too. Can you describe what it's like to be playing in your own world as a catch up? You know, like with this.
Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, it's different. You know, we've been, you know, experiencing some success back in the States. You know, even you know, actually when we head back, we're doing a co-headlining run with Escape the Fate, and it's just, you know, come over here and, you know, nobody knows who the heck we are. It's been interesting, but it's been fun. You know, it's been kind of that thing where you go out there and no one has any expectations. It's actually kind of liberating.
It's just kind of is it kind of like almost just being able to go out there and have fun and stuff like that, just like even more so?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, it's a different kind of fun, you know, because we've worked hard back in America to be able to have the success we've had, and now obviously there's nothing like playing a show when the fans know your music. You know, that's definitely the point. But it's kind of been, like you said, refreshingly no pressure. We can just kind of come and let loose, and, you know, we know how, you know, talented the band is live from just how many shows we've played over the years together, you know, so it's like we're very confident about what we do live, and, you know, I think that we've been able to enjoy that and shape the set around different nights to make sure that, you know, we can still respect the Five Finger fan bases that are here for Five Finger, but also, you know, respect what our band does, and be true to who we are.
Absolutely. As well too. Just kind of also talking about the album though as well too, because obviously true to you are, and that's fantastic as well, but, you know, one of the things I was thinking was, obviously, like, you've went through the entire release process of like, oh my god, I hope people like my album, oh my god, like in America it's like, oh thank god, now you're doing the exact same thing over here, you know. I mean, what's it like repetition there, you know? What's it like?
Yeah, I think I mean, it helps. I know there's everything is out there, so at least this time, you know, if you want to really hear it, you can still go out there and find it, you know, whether it be YouTube or whatever. So it's that part isn't as stressful, because you know that it is out there, and you don't have to worry about it getting out there and what the initial reaction is going to be. So it's it's interesting though.
And as far as like the other 2 albums as well too, I mean, like, will they be kind of just for fans who are starting to come into it as well too? Will there be European releases of that down the line, or is that going to happen along with the album?
Yeah, we're doing a special European edition of Onyx, which is going to have songs off War of Angels, our second album, because both those albums were on our current label back home. So the first record was on Universal back home, so that's a totally different deal. So I don't know. There's talk about maybe the first album being released here at some point, but that first album's kind of out of our hands. But the 2, I know that Onyx is going to have some songs off our second album, War of Angels, so it's going to be kind of a special edition kind of packaging. So we're excited to, you know, kind of just get the catch up kind of over with, so we can, you know, the future records were, you know,
similar timeline. Yeah. Obviously, the goal is, you know, as we record our next album, have it released, you know, the same time as the U.S. release. So, you know, we kind of call this playing our catch up, and you know, hopefully down the road it'll be you know, worldwide.
Do you feel as though, I mean, again, this is maybe a personal opinion of mine, but do you feel as though this is kind of like the right time for you guys to do this as well, in terms of just the rock scene in general? Because in the UK especially, I mean, bands like Hailstorm, Alter Bridge, Shinedown are so huge right now as well. I mean, do you feel that way? Is this kind of a good time for you guys?
We're still kind of new to how successful those bands are in the UK, because we're still, like, it's our first time kind of hearing about that. Obviously, those bands are big back home where we're from, so we know those bands are big home. But it's exciting to know, now having been here for our first time, to know that those bands are doing real well, that obviously we play with those bands a lot back home. So it's good that, like you said, the timing, we do believe it's our time. But even more so than that, like, we feel it's our time as brothers. Like, it's like, hey man, like, we're ready now. We feel like we've been kind of held back for whatever reason. You know, we could list them, but we feel like, you know, we're kind of coming of age. We're coming into our own. So and we're glad that Europe's like right in the mix with that, with Pop Evil. So we're ready to bring it.
Absolutely as well too. And one of the things as well about the third album and stuff is I thought it was kind of a good thing as well too, because like the first album, I've not really had the chance to listen, but I'm sure it's a good album.
Yeah, right.
But it might have like the first album mistakes, and you do the second album, might still have a few mistakes. Third album, all of it's refined, it's perfect, it's what you can give.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think with the first records, it wasn't sure. I mean, I'm sure there was mistakes if I went back and looked, but I think the mistake was that we didn't have time to really make them. We had to get a record out, so we didn't have the A-list producer. The second and third record we had Johnny K, which he's done, his track record speak for himself, and the second record though we were first time. It was the first time all of us were in them. Myself, especially it was in and as a front man and as a leader, it's. I can't really direct if I don't know exactly, what I'm doing as well. I'm trying to just listen to what Johnny's saying, trying to like suck as much knowledge from him as I can to try to, personally be able to survive in the studio. I mean, I didn't want to look stupid when you got Johnny K there. We wanted to make sure we were ready to go. And then the third record, guys like Nick and Chachi all come in. They're both talented guys, and I thought they were very humbled to come in and just kind of. We knew what they were going to go through, whether they wanted to admit it or not, because we knew how we felt, the previous. And now with Matt and Dave and I, who had been there from the beginning, say, hey, we need to really coach these guys instead of let's not play catch up and have the album suffer. So I thought they did a great job of just kind of trusting us to say, hey, we'll help, you know what I mean? Just get you through the little things. You focus on the big things, which is your parts, and focus on the songs, and we'll take care of all the small stuff that is being a studio musician. And I think that this time around for me personally, being good friends with Johnny, we were able to kind of challenge Johnny and say, look, this is the record we want to do. We're the ones that are going to play these songs for the rest of our life, not you. So in ways we couldn't say no before in the past, we were able to say, no, that's not what we want this record to do. So, and I think that the next record's going to be even that much more. I mean, with Chachi and Nick, it'll be their second record. I mean, it's just a different ballgame. I mean, the veterans don't have to carry it like we had to on Onyx, and with the success of Onyx, I mean, we were talking about it the other night. It's like it's exciting because every song, every album's different. You can't say, okay, well, this is how it's going to be. You just don't. Everything's going to be changing. Everything's evolving. And people are getting more focused, and the band's evolving. Things that we did before with acoustic guitars on the first two records, we said on this record, no acoustic guitar. Not for any reason that the band wanted to just challenge itself to do some other things. I mean, now if we want to go with acoustic guitars down the road, I mean, we're willing to take those chances. But that's the thing; it's about growing as a band, evolving, and doing it with rock as your main focus, and that's the challenge.
Right, cool. Well, let's talk about where you guys are right now then. About especially with the terms of the album, especially. I mean, obviously, a lot of other people over here wouldn't know what this album is about. They might not know where you guys are right now as a band. So let's talk about the themes that concepts or themes that kind of get you interested in stuff like that in life. I mean, like. How about yourself there, man? Like, start with yourself. Like, what is it what position are you in right now that's really kind of attracting your attention in life that you're inspired by?
Yeah, I think actually at this point it's we've been doing this so long. The band's been together for so long and actually touring on a grand scale for what's it been, like 6-7 years, and just getting more in touch with even the fans and yourself at the same time. I think with this record, it kind of felt that responsibility. You have a fan base that expects something from you, and you want to actually you want to be able to give back to them in a way that helps them. So a lot of these messages are positive messages, uplifting messages that might come from a dark place. So I think the next one, you're still kind of rolling with that theme, concept probably. We haven't really talked about any of that yet, but I think we're all still feeling that responsibility.
Cool, awesome. And so you're kind of talking about responsibility to your fans there and stuff like that, as well as seems that comes from a personal place. Would it be personal of me to ask what those personal things may be, or should I just leave that?
They're song based. The album's called Onyx. Yeah. Like Nick said, it's coming from a real dark place for the fact that we were dealing with old band members that we thought were the future for us. And unfortunately, this business, especially for a rock band, is really tiring, and it's so much more demanding than it's ever been, and the give back is so much less. When people when you think about your job in life, and people are going to tell you they're going to steal from you, it doesn't sound like a flattering job, right? So I mean, the way that the bands are compensated is different than 10, even 5 to 20 years ago. I mean, there's a big scale that changes, and and to stay driven and to not be frustrated and upset, and the amount of sacrifice that you have to do to not only just break a region, let alone a country, and then now expand to, you know, a world, becoming a worldwide brand is it's a stressful thing for bands. So like as we start to collectively come together, and you know, we understand whether we don't always agree with what each other's problems are, but the fact is, if it's a problem that a band member is going with, you got to be honest, because if we're dealing with it, maybe someone else is in the real world, to say, hey, you know, like, let's try to be helpful. So Onyx, out of that, you know, you think about a stone, okay? Onyx might not be diamond, it might not be a ruby, it might not be the most sought-after stone, but if you think about any piece of onyx, it's always been a timeless gem. People have always never been disappointed to have a nice piece of onyx. I mean, it's got a cool factor, it's got a
like a dark mystery.
It's got a dark, yeah, like a swagger to it, you know. And I think that's, if you look at Pop Evil metaphorically, we've always taken hits, and there's always been that steady climb that showed that it's not really about any band member. I mean, even a guy like me back in the day, you know, when I started, it's about the team you build around it. It's collectively, hey, we're all great individuals, the 5 of us individually, but when you put the 5 guys together, you know, I mean, it's always been something special, you know. And we have our good days and bad days like everyone else, you know, as buddies. But I think that what we're trying to do, we really feel like we're tapping into something. And how, I mean, we're going to really tell on the next record, you know, I mean, how we worked. And I think that's the fun, you know. I mean, the same Nick I worked with before isn't the same one, or same Leigh he worked with isn't the same Leigh, you know. I mean, you're, like you said, lyrically, there's a big responsibility too now. There's always been that responsibility being Pop Evil to be honest with your emotions, whether you want to break something, turn up the amps and get heavy on them, or whether you just want to break out, you know, a one guitar. Nick and I are just jamming, him and I, he's playing, I'm singing, and just really strip it down and just be intimate with the fact that sometimes we like to drive, and I'm sure, you know, if you're in Europe, you feel the same way. You just want to get in your car by yourself and just process, you know, how your life's going, and just kind of be by yourself. And, you know, a lot of times when you do have those moments, music is there for you. And, you know, we want to give, some of my favorite songs growing up were always those kind of ballady, soulful, articulate guitar tones, but at the same time very passionate lyrics that can really help me relate when a lot of people don't know how to, you know, relate to something close to them, whether it's family or loved ones. That music is always there for them, and that's kind of what Pop Evil's always been about.
Absolutely. And just in terms of that as well, I'm keeping an eye on time here sometime, so I'm expecting him to come through here. But just to kind of sum that up as well, because something I thought you did really interesting with that as well too, didn't really manage to get a good look at it, but I saw the idea, was the kind of, you know, asking people to tweet in with, like, you know, quite emotional, you know, messages as well too. I mean, is that a part of it then? Like, what was that?
Yeah, that's you know, a project that we started. We our current single back in the States is our song "Torn to Pieces" that we'll be playing tonight as well. It's the song that I think it's so emotional. I think it's really the one song that, you know, that I've heard in Pop Evil's catalog, even, you know, from the early days when I was just a fan, and to me, like, it's that one song that really pulls at the heartstrings. You know, everyone can. It deals with loss, I think, is the main thing, and it's the one thing that everybody can kind of deal with. That's gone through that. And what we basically did is we set up a web page to you know, ask people to, you know, share their stories of those loved ones that they've lost, and to, you know, turn that loss into a more positive, almost a celebration of their lives. And you know, we've been monitoring it, and it's really been amazing just seeing what people are giving back.
I mean, I think Nick taps into a great thing. You know, I mean, this is such a great age for you know, the viral social media age, right? So just like fans can be more in tune to their favorite bands more than ever, but also band members can be into their fans more than ever as well. And I mean, whenever you can make a song more personal to somebody, it's always you know, it's always a win. And you know, when you get the opportunity, like a song like "Torn to Pieces" that reminds us all of our own loved ones that we've lost, or people that we wish were here that maybe are just far away, and all kinds of ways that we suffer with loss. I think that it's a reminder that, again, music is the key, and sometimes it's that tie that binds, and it's the start of the healing process, you know. And I think that, you know, sometimes even aggression and all the kinds of emotions we feel, you know, music, we can try to find that mood musically to try to kind of help us cope.
Yeah, I think it's you know, bringing people together too. I mean, it's kind of showing that, you know what, you're not alone. Like, everyone's going through this. I think it definitely helps, you know, in that you know, group psychology. You know, everyone going through the same things. You can kind of be like, oh, okay, it's you know, it's not that bad. You know, we can actually get through this.
Awesome. I'll tell you what, I'll kind of obviously, because stuff like that, I think this is probably my thing. But that being said, just last two things. One, is there anything that I have not asked you that you would like to kind of bring up now that I've just not asked?
It's not the disc. Covered that. That's the big thing, just giving him an introduction about who we are. I mean, I think that, the band name, Pop Evil. I think Pop Evil kind of was driven from a place when pop music, meaning popular music, abandoned rock and metal. You know what I mean? And especially rock, and we always feel like we got something to say too. Why? Who's to say that, rock can't be among the mainstream music, and pop was always an evil word where we were coming from. So Pop Evil was a reminder of our lifestyle to say, hey, if we keep working to something, we can make sure that we're one of the bands that helps bring rock band to where it should be from the forefront. And I think it's about being driven. I think that having a purpose is important in life, and as a band, and understanding who your followers are. And we want the right fans that understand, hey, it's okay to be honest with your feelings, whether you're honest and you just want to be, you want to beat someone's ass, or you're being honest and you just you just want to find your corner and just be alone, and I think that that's the true meaning. I think Pop Evil is a way of life for many other people.
Awesome. By the way, I did think that was like an awesome name for a band as well too. By the way, I love that name for a band. And also, one last thing, and I'll make this kind of like a one-word answer here. Because if you could have any mythical creature, what would you have?
A mythical one?
Yeah, I know it's a complete contrast to what I've been asking you. A mythical creature.
I got mine. You want to go first?
Yeah, I want a dragon.
Damn it!
Yeah, I've always wanted a dragon. Just a little guy, just not one that gets really big, but I just want a little guy.
All right, fine. I want that guy from Lord of the Rings. One of them. What's that ugly guy? The little guy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The troll guy.
Okay.
When he's like, the precious.
Oh yeah, you want Dobby?
Yeah, the precious. I don't even know if he's a mythical character, but
I think he is.
He's a mythical midget. That would be what I would love.
I'm feeling off to you on that one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably wouldn't want him just because there's probably something that'll stab me in the back. You know what?
He would just be fun to play with. He would be fun to play with, just on the weekends, right? It's like a child.
I wouldn't mind a unicorn.
Oh, damn it! I forgot. You got all the good ones.
It would be a giant unicorn to ride around the city and.
With wings, or isn't there a name for one of those horses with wings?
Pegasus.
Yes, a Pegasus.
Gotta deal with the devil. Gotta deal with the devil. Gotta deal with the devil.
Hey, this is Nick.
This is Lee, and we're with Pop Evil. And what's up, y'all? You're listening. It's in your face to rock made of metal. Turn it up. Yeah.